Hey, yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. As always, keeping you up to date on all the latest wrestling news, rumors, reports, and coverage. A lot to talk about following this week's Monday Night Raw. We might end up ranting for a little bit here because some of those booking decisions were questionable. We got a brand new champion, Vince McMahon ruining a champion. We got John Cena setting up the challenge, some backstage news on a potential fire wrestler returning, and a lot more. So you guys know what to do. Hit those notifications. If you're new here, consider subscribing to be up to date on all of our wrestling news and WWE 2K22 news coverage. Anyways, let's go ahead and dive into it. And usually in these roundups, when I know we're gonna talk about Monday Night Raw, we'll leave it to the end. But there's something I gotta get off my chest right now. And that is, of course, the debut of NXT champion Karrion Kross. Fans are angry about this. WWE is getting so much backlash for that horrible booking that I would really hate to be any of the social media guys today. How do you book an undefeated NXT champion, a monster, in a 2-minute match and have him lose this debut match on Monday Night Raw? So as we got to see, Karrion Kross faced off against Jeff Hardy, who had his No More Words a theme song return. So at that point, you already knew that WWE just created the biggest disaster booking that they can. Why? Well, because on one side, you got the undefeated NXT champion who definitely cannot lose on his debut. And obviously, fans are excited that there's some new faces coming up to the main roster. And it is quote-unquote the top guy on NXT right now. And then on the other side, you got one of the most popular superstars, one of the most popular veterans, Jeff Hardy, coming back with one of the most popular theme songs that we haven't seen in over 10 years. So you can't book any of them to lose. You gotta book both of them to win. Otherwise, people are gonna complain no matter what. This matchup was a fail since it was written on the script. Somebody on the creative team should have known that this was a bad idea. Surely there could have been better options, right? They could have booked Karrion Kross like when Kevin Owens was called up, making him look like a complete beast, like a real champion, so that now on Tuesday, I want to go in and tune into NXT. Right now, I don't want to watch the show, and if you're a casual fan who never seen NXT, well, now you don't even have a reason to tune into it, because the undefeated champion just looked like crap, even on the presentation of it, because they took everything away from it. They took Scarlett, they took the full entrance presentation, the smoke, you name it. This man came out there and he looked like he didn't want to be there, and I don't blame him. Here's another idea. Why didn't you just book him against a local talent, against a jobber that could easily take a loss and make him look like a complete beast? Or how about this? Don't even book him in the show. Leave him on NXT. If you're just gonna act like everything he did on NXT means nothing. Watching an exciting debut be booked like this is just annoying and very disappointing from WWE. So I really don't know what the hell it is that they're thinking. I don't know what it is that Vince McMahon is thinking right now. You are literally embarrassing NXT, embarrassing anything that Triple H is doing over there. So why do you even put money into this third brand? It makes no sense considering that Karrion Kross was undefeated and he is the current NXT champion. This has to be the worst NXT call-up debut ever. And trust me, I know how some people are going to try to defend this by saying that next week Jeff Hardy is gonna get beat up by Karrion Kross and he's gonna look like a monster. Yes, I'm pretty sure that's gonna happen. It's a typical predictable WWE week-to-week booking. But that is not how you make a first impression. We're not gonna be forgetting about a first impression like this. Instead of making a first impression that is so trash like this, as I said before, why not just make a better first impression, like when Kevin Owens came up and destroyed John Cena and made the NXT champion look important? Why not just do that instead? You're trying to build talent anyways. It makes no sense. You have no reason to start off on the wrong way. Anyways, as I said, the fans are furious about this this whole situation. WWE is getting massive backlash, and rightfully so I could definitely complain for the next 2 hours, but instead let's just go ahead and finish up our coverage. Some interesting news coming on the last 24 hours, and that is that it looks like another released WWE superstar could be on the way back. WWE posted a new Braun Strowman merchandise on their website, and no, they're not restocking. This is a brand new merchandise with brand new design, and given that WWE doesn't have a history of releasing new merchandise for wrestlers not associated with the company, it definitely looks like the Monster Among Men may be on his way back. As reported before, WWE do have planned to bring back a lot of the released superstars, especially now that they are back on the roll, and they tap superstars like Braun Strowman, who was shocking that he was released in the first place, is definitely on the priority list for WWE to bring him back. Last night on Monday Night Raw, we got a shocking ending to it as we got a brand new Raw Women's Champion. Nikki, almost a superhero, ended up cashing in after the main event matchup, defeating Charlotte Flair, who was intentionally disqualified on her match against Rhea Ripley. Up to why this already happened and why Nikki Kross already cashed in, seems like there's a good reason for it. It has become pretty obvious in the backstage over the last couple of days, and a source have confirmed WrestlingNews.co that Vince McMahon is a big fan of Nikki, almost a superhero gimmick. The reason for it is because, of course, it's a superhero character and it is seen as a big potential merchandise mover, and also as a new way for Nikki to do a lot of community outreach with the kids. And who's gonna blame Vince McMahon? He's thinking on the business side of things and on the PR side of things. It is a good move for WWE. Vince McMahon is actually thinking right on this one. The audience is back, merchandise sales are gonna go up right away. Nikki Kross is definitely gonna be great for that. They just don't gotta mess it up. Make sure you give her a good championship run. On to some other news. A PW Insider was the first to report that Naomi has been quietly moved to the SmackDown brand. There's a lot of speculations on why this was the case. Main reason is likely due to the fact that, of course, her husband, it's on SmackDown. When you think about it, now they have a lot of potential angles for her. She could join up the Bloodline and even get the SmackDown Women's Championship in the future for everyone in the Bloodline to have that title. That's one of the main speculations right now, and I would love to see it happen because that will mean that WWE will give Naomi an actual push, and they won't stop it 2 weeks after like they usually do. Some news as we were headed into Monday Night Raw, WrestleVotes ended up reporting that WWE feels like they can absolutely keep the energy and momentum created so far this past weekend and carry it all the way through to SummerSlam. And I hope they do, because this week's Monday Night Raw, although it was okay to watch, it could have been booked way better. We got way too many rematches, a lot of nothing happening, and then Goldberg making a return. And with that said, let's go ahead and talk about what else went down on that show. It opened up with John Cena setting up the challenge to Roman Reigns for SummerSlam. John Cena indicated that the reason why he is back is because of Roman. Cena thinks that Roman is an absolute you-know-what, and that he's really not as over as he thinks he is. And that was it. John Cena giving us a simple reason, and I'm all for it. He then got an awesome interaction with Matt Riddle just saying bro. As we get ready for the first matchup of the night, it was Matt Riddle and the Viking Raiders defeating AJ Styles, Omos, and John Morrison. Jackson Ryker defeated Elias in a Symphony of Destruction match, which the crowd didn't even make a noise because they don't know who to cheer for. I mean, Elias was getting more cheered than the quote-unquote babyface Jackson Ryker. Natalya and Tamina defeated Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. The highlight on this is that after the match, Nia Jax got rid of Reginald by attacking him, and then Reginald just went on to win the 24/7 title, as they had the same 24/7 title segment that they've been having for over 70 weeks now, for whenever that thing was introduced. You guys want another rematch? You got another rematch. It is United States Champion Sheamus defeating Humberto Carrillo. You know what's gonna be happening next week? Humberto Carrillo versus Sheamus. Trust me, it's a complete different match. They just put Humberto's name in the front. We got WWE Champion Bobby Lashley defeating Keith Lee. I would love to talk about Keith Lee here. I absolutely love Keith Lee. But they use his return as a simple step to get to Goldberg, which really sucks. I'm excited to see Keith Lee back. He also should have been looked like a monster now that he is back, but whatever. Lashley wins, out comes Goldberg. Goldberg says, I'm next, because he only knows how to say that word. So, you knew that's what he was gonna say. I can't even talk right now. It's almost like I can only say one word as well. How frustrating was some of these stuff that happened on this week's Monday Night Raw, huh? Up next is Jeff Hardy defeating Kross. I think we talked about that already. I don't know if I mentioned that it was a 2-minute match and that the babyface Jeff Hardy is actually using heel tactics to win a match, and that Kross presentation was the worst. We had Rhea Ripley defeating Charlotte Flair, but via disqualification. Charlotte Flair tried to walk out. She hit Rhea Ripley with the title, so that caused the disqualification. Rhea Ripley got pissed off, continued to attack Charlotte Flair, hit the riptide. Out come Nikki, almost a superhero, and she is ready to cash in. She goes over the top rope, land on Charlotte Flair, goes to the pin for 1, 2, 3, and we got a brand new champion. Big congratulations to Nikki Kross. She obviously deserves this. I wish she would have held that Money in the Bank for a little bit longer, just because WWE never do that nowadays when it comes to the women's Money in the Bank briefcase, but it is what it is. I really hope they end up booking her the right way. And that was Monday Night Raw and all the latest news coverage. There was no Becky Lynch. They continue to tease that Becky Lynch is going to be returning. The crowd is always hot, chanting for her name, but it hasn't happened just yet. At this point, I do think they're going to wait until SummerSlam for it to happen, but we will have to wait and see. If you guys enjoyed this coverage, or as always found it informative, don't forget to turn on those notifications. And if you're new, subscribe for more wrestling content. I'll catch you on the next one, so stay savage.